Hi guys, and welcome to the Booth Customs channel. It's John Mark, and I'm here to talk to you today about hunting with the AR. Hunting season is upon us, and many of you may be wondering, is the AR a viable hunting platform? So for several reasons, I believe it is. One, it's relatively inexpensive compared to other hunting rifles. Two, it's easily set up for the specific type of hunting that you want to do. And three, it's a platform that a lot of us are familiar with and can easily adapt to a hunting type situation. Also allows for quick follow-up shots without having to cycle a bolt or something like that. Here I have set up an AR-10 in 308. Now there's lots of different calibers that you can hunt with. This one I have set up since I'm in Alabama for hunting whitetail deer. As far as other calibers that will work, I mean, there's a plethora from 300 Blackout, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 Grendel, 6mm ARC, you name it. All of those cartridges would be capable of taking down a whitetail. Now, could you take down a whitetail with 5.56? Sure, but you'd have to be an extremely good shot to do it. And the chances of a deer running off with a 5.56 bullet in it a little bit higher than some of these larger calibers. And the key is making a clean kill so that it's ethical and so on and so forth. Now, 5.56 is great for hunting varmints, coyotes, things of that nature, but once you get up a little bit larger, you're going to want to use a larger caliber. As far as setup goes, when hunting, I definitely recommend whatever caliber you're going to be using, putting a scope on your AR. And the reason for this is it lends itself to more precise shot placement, which is key, again, in making a clean kill. The power of the scope greatly depends on your area and what you're hunting and so on and so forth. I have a 6.5 by 20 Vortex Viper on this AR, and it works great for making shots out to, I mean, in Alabama it's probably not going to be much further than 300 yards where I'm hunting, but it's perfect for that. In addition, I have a bipod for a better rest, or a rest on the go. If for some reason I'm not like in a shooting house or something like that, like hunting out of a blind or something, a bipod is good. Probably preferable to that, and something that you can carry with you, is a hunting tripod that you can set the gun on and lock it down and hunt. I also have this it's not really an angled foregrip, it's a radial foregrip from True North Concepts. And that, not only is it going to help if I am making a offhand shot, but also if I'm sitting in a shooting house or a stand or something like that, I can sort of dig that in to a rest and give myself some added stability. Trigger wise, I have a single stage 3.5 pound CMC trigger in this. Now for hunting, I generally recommend a 2-stage trigger, simply because that can allow you to be a little bit more accurate, because you have the initial pull and then you hit that back wall and it's like 1.5 pound break or something like that, and so it gives you a little bit better ability to time your shot. However, single stage or double stage is really shooter's preference. Just make sure you get a good trigger. I wouldn't hunt with a mil-spec trigger based on the fact that the trigger pull is so heavy. You're trying to be accurate, and especially if you're at a longer range, you want to get an excellent degree of accuracy and not just what some people call battle accurate. Um, this I have just a regular mil spec charging handle on. Again, I would recommend putting upgraded charging handle like either the Arrow Precision Breach or the Radian Raptor, um, just because it's going to allow for better manipulation. If you're hunting and it's cold, you're probably going to be wearing gloves. It's a good idea to have something you can easily manipulate and grab a hold of, as opposed to this mil-spec crap right here. Um, Stock, again, shooter's choice. Some people prefer more of a PRS type stock. I went with this because I will be carrying this with me, and I didn't want a lot of extra weight added to the rifle. This being an AR-10 with an 18-inch barrel, it's already heavy enough if you're carrying it. So I was trimming weight where I could, and that was the stock. Another consideration to make is in regards to weight is like how far are you going to be traveling. If you are parking well away from whatever your area to hunt is, you definitely want to consider a sling. Slings are probably mandatory anyway. I don't have one on this yet. There will be one on it before I take it out in the woods, but you're going to want something that can secure the rifle and that you're not having to like just lug it out there. It also adds for some way to sling it on you while you're climbing up in a stand or into a shooting house or something like that. I recommend, as far as that goes, a 2-point sling system because it is a little bit more stable and easy to kind of cinch it down so that it's not swinging everywhere. You could go with a single point, but then it's going to be like, swing down at the end and stuff, and that's not always good. So make sure you put a sling on it, and other than that, set it up in such a way that it's comfortable for you to shoot and practice with it. Barrel wise, I went with a stainless steel Ballistic Advantage barrel, 18-inch. You can go with a 16-inch on a 308, obviously, and get excellent muzzle velocity. I went with an 18-inch just because I like the ballistics on that whenever I was comparing different barrels when I built this. Another point of thought is whenever you're, and I've had this with several new to the platform hunters, where they'll go to put a round in the chamber and then they'll ease the slide forward so that it doesn't make a lot of noise out in the woods. That's cool. However, both times they've eased the slide forward and it's gotten around into the chamber but not completely into battery, and the bolt was not completely closed. One guy had a deer in his sights, pulled the trigger, and just click, nothing. So less than optimal. He called me and he's like, "Hey, my AR didn't go off," and I said, "Well, did you ease the slide or the charging handle forward by chance?" He's like, "Well, yeah," and I was like, "Okay, you can't do that." So either get out in the woods early enough, and once you're settled down in your stand, just rack it normally, or do it in your truck before you leave, or at your truck before you walk into the woods to your spot. And chances are, by the time, like, you've caused enough commotion by the time you get into your stand, number one, that things are not going to be greatly disturbed by the sound of you racking your rifle. They're already disturbed by the fact that you've walked in. and it's going to take, you know, a good 30 or 40 minutes probably for the woods to settle down after that anyway, if not longer. Second to that, if you do it in your truck and keep your weapon on safe, practice trigger discipline and keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction on the way in, you're going to be fine. However, that is something to consider. Don't just ease your bolt forward. That could be a con for some, because a lot of people don't like to put one in the chamber until they're in the stand and they're worried about the noise and so on and so forth. In my experience, it's not been a huge deal or hasn't been a factor of whether I see a deer or not. So, weight-wise, it is pretty heavy. So a setup like this may not be optimal if you're going to be, you know, walking great distances looking for a spot to set up. As far as weight goes, just train like you fight. You know, do some overhead squats, whatever. Man up on it. But if you like have a known destination and you're walking into the woods, then this is not a big deal. Weight can be trimmed in certain areas. Again, you could get a shorter barrel, a lighter muzzle device. If you don't think you'll need it, you can lose the bipod, lose the foregrip. You can just run it as is. And also, if you hunt with something that's more in the AR-15 size, like a 6.5 Grendel or something like that, or a 300 Blackout, then you know, that's going to take off a lot of weight as well. It's all dependent on what you're hunting and what you believe your maximum ranges are going to be. So, hope this has been informative. Hope you guys get out in the woods, give the AR platform a chance in hunting, and we'll see you next time on the Booth Customs channel. Happy shooting.